The life of Veerappan illustrates a progression of violence with each decision he makes. Initially, we observe the forest officer P. Srinivas aiming to apprehend him through non-violent means and rehabilitate him. In return, Veerappan murders Srinivas, burning and then decapitating him. Following this, the situation rapidly spirals into a cascade of violence, with both Veerappan's gang and the special task force becoming active participants in the gruesome bloodshed. Following the killing of Veerappan's associate Gurunath by the police, Veerappan retaliates by launching an attack on the Ramapura police station, resulting in the deaths of 7 policemen. When the police burn down houses in Nallur to extract information, Veerappan ambushes their vehicle, killing high-ranking police officers. When Rambo Gopal Krishnan assumes control and employs brutal interrogation methods, Veerappan plants a bomb that gravely injures him and claims the life of 22 other policemen. When Shankar Bidari assumes leadership, he mirrors the violence, inciting Veerappan to respond with escalating brutality, and hundreds of lives were lost in the process. The refusal to relent culminates in a never-ending cat-and-mouse pursuit that ruins the lives of numerous policemen and villagers linked to the situation. The catastrophic impact intensifies and increasingly inhuman acts unfold at each stage of the chase. Parallelisms can be observed in the hardening of the Pharaoh's heart in the biblical story of Exodus. Initially, Moses warns the Pharaoh of impending doom if he does not relent. Yet Pharaoh steadfastly refuses. Consequently, the land, livestock, and lives of the people of Egypt suffer gravely due to Pharaoh's actions. Eventually, Pharaoh is compelled to yield, but the cost escalates exponentially through the 10 plagues. Similarly, we witness Veerappan's ultimate capture and demise, but the toll on humanity throughout the process is staggering. Veerappan believed himself to be above the law, convinced that his actions were justified. This is evident in his televised interviews where he dictates to the courts and politicians how the state should be governed. Like Pharaoh, he perceived himself to be an absolute sovereign, acknowledging no authority above his own. His repeated success only strengthened his convictions of invincibility. His desire to transition from a mere petty criminal to a formidable revolutionary akin to the figures of Prabhakaran, Che Guevara, and Mao Zedong signifies his perception of himself as an exceptional revolutionary leader. And like these leaders who emerged to the height of their power in their particular cultural context, it's undeniable that the forces greater than themselves contributed to their triumph. In Veerappan's case, it was the forest. He possessed an intimate knowledge of its terrain and believed that it harbored forces that would protect him. And his belief was vindicated. Considering that it took 2 states nearly 2 decades despite ample resources to apprehend him, one must conclude that beyond his intellect and cunning, something within the forest shielded him. The final officers who captured him understood that luring him out of the forest was the only viable strategy, as all other attempts to capture him from within the forest had repeatedly failed. But as we see again and again in history, these seemingly invincible tyrants invariably fall. The powers that push them to fleeting triumphs eventually gives way to their downfall. Idolatry always gives illusionary powers to individuals, making them feel immortal during their peak, but consumes them in the end. Violent means invariably yield violent ends, and Veerappan's story, like any other tyrant in history, receives the same end.